anytime you compete, you there's always that love-hate relationship type of thing. Obviously, you want to win. He wants to win. He did win. That sort of thing. We had close matches. I had a situation whenever the year before, I thought I had him caught in a finishing hold, but, he uh, yelled and he got out of the move and then he went on to beat me. And so, but, we're competitors. He's a competitor. I'm a competitor. And, as far as going and doing the documentary, I had no problem. I was gunning for him. I just couldn't quite figure out. I couldn't, unlocked the last piece of the puzzle. And he went on, became, the national champion that year. And I was a runner up. And I did it the following year. And, it's one of those things to where when I was asked to come and speak about it and everything, I was willing to because, I felt that, it was time to, the things that he did well for me. I think he looked out for me in WWE. I think that he wanted good things to happen for me, that sort of thing. And so I figured that I would try and be, talk well about him and talk about, our situation, what we had built up. And, I had pinned everybody going into the finals. They didn't mention that. So that was, pretty interesting. I pinned everybody in the first period in the whole tournament, and then so that's why the big match was hyped up so much, And so, and he ended up beating me like 3-2, and he hit the move in the last couple seconds, and the rest is history. I wish I could change that on my end, but that's what happened, and but I'm better for it. I'm a better person for it, and so when I had the opportunity to go and speak about Kurt and talk about what a great athlete he was and everything. Well, it's true, he is, and talk about our time together and our matches and the competitive nature of what we did at that time and around uh, you know 91 and 92. So but I wished him well. He went on and did great things, and I had no problem telling him that telling the world that we had a great rivalry up through there. I mean, we're from the same part of town. We're both from the Pittsburgh area. We didn't cross paths in high school. He went to Mount Lebanon, which is up the road a little bit. He was a heavyweight. I was, I think, a 67 pounder at the time, that sort of deal. We didn't cross paths, and then all of a sudden, I just kept hitting growth spurts, and here, I did well and became an All-American, and all of a sudden we were on the radar, and people were always like, hey, have you heard of Kurt Angle? Of course I heard of Kurt Angle, and I'm sure he got the same thing too. What about this guy? Or, have you wrestled him or this or that? But we eventually crossed paths. And like I said, we were both gunning for the same thing. You go there and you want to be a national champion, and you want to be an All-American. You want to be a national champion. You want to do the best you can. And so, is it bad blood? I mean, I know I worked my tail off to try and beat him. I think he probably did the same. But it's not like I hated the guy or had any other than a competitive spirit. I didn't want to lose to him. I didn't want to lose to anybody else. And that's probably could be the same said for him, I would think.